Hey friends, and welcome back to Timberborn. Thank you very much for the kind comments on last week's episode recording mishap. So today I want to focus on the things we discussed last episode, and you guys all agreed that we really need to fix this area we're looking at right here. So we need to get this forest healthy and growing all the time and not have all these dead stumps around constantly. So we're gonna be working on the aqueduct. I'm gonna unpause these foresters so they can start planting trees again, and I'm also gonna unpause some lumberjacks because we need to keep our wood going if we ever want to finish this aqueduct. So we're gonna start by changing this to a high priority. So the beavers will focus on working on the aqueduct, and I'm gonna reserve very high for if there are projects that we need to do urgently in between. But they should be working on this most of the time now. We don't have a lot of planks. We do have a bunch of logs again, so that's good. Although 400 is not that many logs actually. So hopefully we can start getting this on the go again. There are some trees growing, so that's good. But I think it will take a while before... Let's see. Let's click on one of these. 84%, so that still has a couple of days left to go. 16, 9, 79, 84, 7, 12. Yeah, so there is some wood growing here. That's good. How about these on the other side? 20%. Yeah, so most of these will still take a while before they are grown. But at least we are getting trickle of wood, so we won't completely run out of wood. And we have almost run out of wood over here, so we might have to get some more lumberjacks on the go somewhere. Maybe we can clear these trees. We already have some stairs up here, but I didn't plan this very... It wasn't very clever to do it like this. But we could add one more stair next to it. And then put in some lumberjacks over here. Can they reach everything? Yeah, looks like it. And that will give us a bit more wood to keep us going, keep us baking bread and stuff like that. And one of you said that we are actually slacking on the bad water because these guys don't work as efficiently when there is regular water in here. I guess that explains the lower productivity, because we are mixing regular water and bad water over here, so we're not getting pure bad water that they're pumping, but they have to filter out unnecessary. Low bad water contamination slows down its pumping speed, so we have to filter out the bad water from the clean water, I guess. So we might consider moving these guys. Wait, why did you pause? Relay number 3? Where's relay number 3? You need depth sensor 4. This is flow sensor 2. Wait, where's the depth sensor? Over here. But it's on. Wait, what? Resource counter 2 and depth sensor 4. Depth sensor 4 is on. Resource counter 2 is on. Oh, I set them to pause on 50%. Ah, okay, let's put this up to 85% then. That explains why we were never filling up this tank. Okay, but we may have to move these at some point to up here where there's pure bad water. Because the... what was it called? Bad water rig? Yeah, that's still a ways off. A lot of materials, a lot of science. I mean, we have the science, but not the materials. And it also requires 10 beavers, so... it might be a good idea to move the two of these to somewhere over here. Just so they can pump pure bad water. And I forgot to tell these guys to store on logs and to cut down the trees. There you go. And another tip I got that was pretty good was to prevent flooding a little bit more by dynamiting the rivers to be deeper, so they can hold more water. And especially for this river, that could help if we dynamite it from here. This flooding should happen less. We have built a retaining wall now, so it's not as pressing anymore, but it might be something we look into. I don't want to put down like 60 explosives right now because the builders are so busy with the aqueduct. Although I guess they could put in explosives when they're not working on the aqueduct. Maybe, let's try it. Let's see how this works. We want it to be deeper from here, I think. Now we can't place it underneath the platforms. And we'll just leave these on a regular priority, so they only work on this when they can't work on the aqueduct. And I want to do something similar over here, just to give us a bigger water storage. But that will require a lot of explosives. And we're gonna have to remove these trees first. But yeah, at some point I want to do this entire reservoir. At some point we want to do this, like blow up the entire reservoir so we get a nice deep water storage system over here. But this is gonna take a lot of explosives and a lot of work, and also clearing those trees, so this is something that's gonna be on a very low priority. And then I think I want to actually add a little dam over here, so we can keep this separate just for drinking water, so that when we start draining these parts of the lake, this will still retain water for our drinking water. And then we will have to redo some of these dams again if we make this deeper, because otherwise it won't be able to flow out, of course. We are slowly making progress. They started working and they're about to connect these, so that's gonna be cool. And hopefully by building these they'll be able to reach these, because I don't want to do paths through the forest just to build these platforms. Let's see what they are working on now. They are moving over here. And over here. Huh. Multitasking. So this is at... Oh, it's only at 34%. It still needs 20 planks, yeah. Planks are gonna be the main thing holding us back to build this aqueduct. We have 6 planks. I think we are now basically at the point where every plank produced is immediately picked up by the builders to put in the aqueduct. And we have 4 lumber mills, but they're not even working all the time because we just don't have the logs to keep them going. I could actually prioritize these guys by haulers. Maybe that will make them work a bit more efficiently, because the haulers will bring them logs. Because we have 400 logs, but none of these guys have logs, so I guess that should help. And these guys have cleared this forest, so we can remove these lumberjacks. And then we can have haulers remove this, or remove these logs, so we can delete this storage pile as well. Oh, they are actually working on the dynamite, so I guess this works, doing it like this. So every time they don't have planks or metal blocks available for the aqueduct, they can just pick up some explosives and put them in the river. I'm curious what will happen here when we finish this platform. Will the water start like flooding our land because they need to build the levees first? Or will it keep flowing in a straight line? Because if it starts flooding, that might actually be an issue. We're gonna find out soon, because they just put in the last plank. And there we have the platform. Nice. Oh. The water flows... Oh, wait. These are not waterproof? Impermeable... Oh, floor panel that stops water from leaking. Ah, we need these floors. Okay. So I guess I'll add those. Okay, so I added impermeable floor to the entire aqueduct. That's 1 metal block each, but I think... We have almost 700 metal blocks, so the metal blocks shouldn't be what's holding us back. Okay, but that might actually be a blessing in disguise, because that gives us time to finish the platforms and the levees, so we don't flood our forest over here. Actually, I might do these impermeable floors on a lower priority, just so we finish the retaining wall before we put in those impermeable floors. What are we doing over here with the trees? We have no trees available to harvest at the moment. This is 91%. Okay, that's not too bad. 99%. Okay, so we are getting some trees back soonish. What are you guys doing over here? And almost cleared this mountain already. Yikes. So I may want to go over this side as well. Yep, these guys are done. So we're gonna wait for them to clear the logs out of their inventory, and then we can delete these lumberjacks and have them work on the next section of the mountain. And I will at some point when when the beavers have a bit more spare time, I guess. I will start just dotting foresters around the map and planting trees like little forests here and there because we are making the map look very, very barren with all this deforesting that's going on. The lumber mills are working a lot better now that we've prioritized them by hauler, so we do have 30 planks in storage. That does mean we are chewing through our logs a lot quicker. Oh, but we have the connecting platform in. Nice. Alright, now they can use that to walk along this and start working on continuing the aqueduct. I think they still build in the order you place stuff, so now that they can walk across this, they will just continue in this direction, because I think I put in these at the very last. I am wondering if it would be smart to just add paths to this, so they can build from above. Maybe even a set of temporary stairs. It might be a good move to add these stairs over here so they can just walk out of the zipline station and start building instead of walking through this water bit and around. Oh, maybe spiral stair wasn't the best idea because they haven't built this platform yet, so this spiral stair just leads into a cliff right now. Whoops. Yeah, they have stopped work after those 2 explosives were put in because now they have planks and logs to work on the aqueduct, so that's working as intended. We could even consider making this entire river deeper just to give ourselves a bigger water supply, but that's a lot more dynamite, so let's wait with that. And we have filled up our bad water tank now, so I guess changing the resource counter did help with that. This is progressing quite nicely. Already building the floodgates now. Building some new platforms over here, so we can start working on the overhangs. Well done, beavers. Can we actually reach all these platforms? We can't reach the last few, but I think we should be able to once we build the ones that come in front. I think we should be able to build down from those, so it should be fine. Ooh, the first floodgate is in. Wow. And we actually need some automation here. We already have a weather sensor, so we can just automate these on that weather sensor, I guess. Weather station 1. Wait, can we? What signal did weather station 1 give? It's on during temperate weather. Okay. So then these guys, during temperate weather, they want to be fully raised, so we can let the water flow straight through. And then during other seasons, it can be fully lowered. Because in a drought it doesn't matter, there won't be any water flowing anyway, and during a bad tide we want the water to flow that direction. Yeah, I think this works. And then for the other floodgates, we want them in reverse. So during temperate season they need to be low, during other seasons they can be all the way up. And that means we won't store water here during a drought, but it's only a small pool anyway, so I think we're better off using this dam over here to store this water. We might even consider adding like a bigger pool somewhere over here at some point to store more water. We could actually... I'm not going to build it, but we could do something like the throttling valves or the fill valves on the bottom, and then build a big dam that reaches up to our aqueduct, and then use this entire section as like a big water tank that we can use in droughts and bad tides to keep this hydrated. But that's a new mega project for use after we build the aqueduct, I guess. I saw a really short message about a flooded building, but oh, did we need 6 days for this to start filling up again? Did this only just start overflowing? Yikes, okay. That's something to remember, I guess. So it took 6 days for this to fill up again and for this to start flowing. Wow, that's a lot longer than I expected. So we might have to reduce the flow rate in here so more water is stored. Because this is flowing at 0.3, we could lower that a little. Or we do the same over here as we're planning for this one and this one, where we replace these throttling valves with fill valves and we put floodgates on top. Oh wait, no, I was thinking about that last time, but that won't work because we can't have floodgates here and here. I don't think the water will divide evenly. Or we would have to do like dams and then one floodgate. So only 1 floodgate's worth of water is let out through here and 3 are let out here, something like that. Or the other way around, maybe we let in less water here and let most of it flow through here. I still want to be able to automate the floodgates on bad tides and stuff, so I would like to keep them synchronized. Although I guess you could unsynchronize them and automate them individually. That could still work. Something to look into during our next drought or bad tide, I guess. But we didn't get bad water flooding, so that's good. Yeah, some oaks are growing again. We have started running out of logs, but that's not good. Let's see, are there any semi-easy to reach places left? There's a lot of oaks over here, but it will take us a bunch of stairs to get there, which uses planks, which is not what we want right now. There are some natural stairs over here and over here. We could use those to get to these trees. Maybe we do that. We can get like 2 more lumberjacks in. And then we only have to build 1 set of stairs. Now we're doing over here. You guys are done. You still need to clean up your logs, but then you are done as well. And we've started working on the last few trees over here. And I just went around and cleaned up all those storage piles because they give logs back, so we can use them again. And we are still constantly short on beavers. We have 18 vacancies. And that's all haulers. But yeah, these guys are all working hard now because, well, we'll never be full on planks with such big projects going on. And we're not full on paper anymore because we're printing books. And the book supply is slowly creeping up, so they will pause at some point, but not for long, I think. So it's not like we're gonna get extra workers at some point soon because these guys are all just working hard. We could free up a lot of farmers if we build the automation I was talking about. So I might try and set up that automation soon-ish. Because that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. That's 21 jobs. So that would actually clear up all our vacancies. And I guess having a few missing haulers won't be as bad when we're not working on these large-scale projects. Because then there will be less hauling to do as well. Yeah, so I added 2 more lodges over here. So that's 6 more beavers just to alleviate the pressure on the haulers a little bit. Because food shouldn't be a problem, so I think we can do this safely. So that means we're open for name suggestions again. I mean, we're always open for name suggestions, but there will actually be beavers who need new names soon. We are making decent progress over here, but we have almost run out of logs, so this is gonna grind to a halt very quickly, because we've pretty much cleared out this forest. How far along are these oaks? 10%, 16, 13, 5, 33, 96, okay. 96, 94, 90, 89... 85. Okay, so there is a little supply of oaks coming in a day or 2, so that's good. But I am questioning whether we can actually run 4 lumber mills continuously on this forest. But I guess we'll start finding out if we don't get any bad tides soon, because if we get a bad tide again and a third of this forest dies, then we're in trouble. Then we will run out of logs completely, because we've already cleared out this part. That's gonna be tricky actually, because we also need the logs for our food, so I think I'm gonna unprioritize these guys again. Which might sound strange, but I think if these guys are not prioritized, then they'll make planks slower, which will keep more logs available for other things. And I think we actually need that right now. And I actually see a lot of guys sat on their butt over here, so did we build resource counters for them? Yes, we did. Okay, so let's start automating those. So you make cattail flour. You can be automated on cattail flour, wheat flour, bread, crackers, and pastries. So that's 4 more jobs that are activating right away because beavers have been eating. So that's exactly my point, like what I said last episode, right? We want to have a sort of range in which they work, because this was just dinner and then they have to work again. So Oh, look at this progress. Why did we not build this one? No particular reason, I guess. And Timberborn just provided me with a name, so welcome Benny. Enjoy your life at this colony. I appreciate the game giving me a bee name for once. We're down to our last log, oh no. An oak just popped up, so hopefully this won't be the end of our colony. Okay, so I'm gonna start clearing up all the stairs we used to get to all these trees just to get us some more planks. Oh wow, I just read the text on these stairs. With the invention of stairs, beavers ascended to the next level. Wow. The rubble, it blocked the view anyway. Large pile. Sadly, nobody is keeping a log of how much wood comes in and out. Devs really did a great job on those little texts. I'm wondering, would we be able to harvest these trees when they're underwater? Can we have swimming lumberjacks? I'm gonna try it. We mark all these trees to be cut down, because we want to remove them at some point anyway. Might as well start now. These as well. Okay, so getting there is the next problem. Okay, so this is gonna be slightly expensive, but it will give us a lot of wood if we can actually get there. And if we can't get there, we'll just delete all those stairs again and reuse them somewhere else. Okay, so we're gonna cut down these oaks and birches at the very least, and hopefully they'll be able to swim across and cut down these, but I'm not sure if that works. And if they can't cut these down when they're flooded, we might just drain our reservoir a little bit so they can. Or we just wait. We're on day 11, so we're probably gonna get another bad tide or drought soon. So we might just wait for that to happen to reach these. And we have actually started putting in the waterproof flooring already. I guess because we have completely run out of planks and almost completely run out of logs, so metal blocks is all they have available at the moment. This is a bit worrying, but not much we can do about it at the moment, I guess. Other than staring at these oaks and hoping they will grow faster. Does that mean we've continued work on these explosives as well? Not really. No. Oh, I've prioritized this, of course, to get more trees, so they're working here. Okay, fair enough. I was wondering where these guys were going with these planks, but they're building stairs. It's a shame it's so expensive to build a zipline station, because it would really speed up things if we could build one right here. But I'm afraid that by the time we have built the zipline station and all the connections leading up to it, we will already have chopped all these trees and it won't be necessary anymore. Although now that I'm saying that, it might still be worth it to get a zipline station over here if we want to change this dam at some point. Okay, screw it. Zipline station. Can we reach this one? No, it's too far away. Fair enough. Okay, so I added in the zipline station with a pylon on both sides so they can easily get everywhere, but it will take us like 40 planks to build all this, so it'll probably will be a while before we actually can zipline over here. This is growing just fast enough to give us like a little trickle of wood, so that's good. And I see we actually can't reach these. I might as well clear that planting area. And this guy can't actually reach these either. I might put in another forester at some point just to give us an even bigger forest. We could also consider diverting this river. So have one, or like have half of it flow this way and half through here. And then dynamite another river through here. We will lose one row of trees, but we will gain all of this area to plant as well. Just to make our forest bigger. Actually, I think I will just do that. Or plan for it. I think I do want to build a large water tank over here. I think that's a good idea to store water for droughts and bad tides. So I think we're gonna build a wall for that on this line. So then the split into two rivers has to happen after that line. And we have another bad tide approaching. That's just great. So I think that means we need some more floodgates over here. And then we're gonna dynamite this. And this. So water can flow into here. And then we'll dynamite this way. And I guess we'll go through here. We're gonna clear that planting area. And I'm not going to remove these trees. We're just going to wait for them to grow up naturally and be harvested. And when they're harvested, we can start putting in dynamite. And then... do we need a floodgate over here? I don't think we actually need a floodgate over here. We might just leave it all connected. I don't really care which way it flows. And then this is going to be platforms, I think, with a path. So we don't lose any more trees. We can just put a path in over here and then this way. And then we could put a forester somewhere over here. We can extend this path like this. And then probably do a path on top of this river as well. Because what range do these foresters have? Really big. So if we put it somewhere over here, we might be able to plant this area as well. I'm gonna have to put in some stairs somewhere. So if we want to lose as little green ground as possible, we could actually do platform over here with stairs going up to this ledge. And then platforms like this with a path. And then a path where the dynamite is at the moment. And then forester up here. Yeah, you can see with the platforms and the stairs in, you can reach almost the entirety of that top platform. So that's good. How are we doing on our aqueduct? We're actually making pretty decent progress. Considering the fact that we're out of wood half of the time. And we have put in a lot more dynamite here as well. Which is, I guess, a bad sign, because it means we don't have the resources to build the aqueduct. And we had a bunch more births, so welcome Baylor, Bill, Birch, Beach, and Billow. I figured we could do with some tree-related names for the beavers. Okay, so we have started clearing out the trees down here, so that's good, because those oaks give 8 logs per tree. To build these stairs? No, not yet. Okay, so with those stairs, these lumberjacks can reach this level. I'm hoping if we put in stairs here and here, they will reach over here, but it might be too far away. Okay, so with the bad tide only a day away, is there anything we need to do to prep? So food-wise, we're all good. Everything is pretty much full up. Water as well. Then our ingredients are looking good. Spatterdock is a bit lacking, actually. It takes 12 days. That is kind of long. How long do cattails take? 8 days. Okay. We might have to increase the spatterdock. There is still a little strip over here that we can plant. Not that we are actually short, but it would just be nice if we can fill up our storage. And then, well, logs and planks are gonna be a problem for a while. Gears and paper looking good. Our book supply is slowly creeping up, so that's good. Resin, treated planks, antidote, scrap, metal blocks, dynamite, extract. Dynamite is still increasing, even though we are using it a little bit. Okay, so not much we can do except our fate. And accept that this is gonna be sad again. Oh wait, we put in our zipline stations over here. Okay, so let's put the game on pause for a second and delete this connection and this connection. Actually, delete this entire pylon. It's no use of us anymore. So that's 15 planks back for us. Then we can connect this one to this one. Oh, it's too far. Really? That one? Oh, and there's a tree in the way, I guess. Because one oak lights up red. Okay, it might have been a bad idea to delete that pylon, because now we don't have a zipline connection anymore. So we need a new pylon over here, maybe? And you can connect to this one. Did this line obstructed? Ah, okay, so that tree is in the way. So we need a pylon over here. It might have been better to build this zipline station one level higher, but it's a bit too late for that now. And this is blocked by the forest. Oh, I really didn't think this through. Okay. Ah, crap. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna build another zipline station, I think. For the foresters that are gonna be working over here. Okay, so our connection is gonna go this way around. A bit awkward, and I would like a straight connection. Maybe we can do that. Can we put a zipline pylon somewhere over here? Oh, but this already has 2 connections, so we can't. And this one as well. No, okay, never mind. Because then we'd have to do something like this with the double zipline station, and I don't want to use that much tree space. So they're just gonna go the long way around, I guess. I will high prioritize these because we need them to get this up and running, because now the builders have to walk from this zipline station, or I guess from this zipline station, all the way around through the forest, up this staircase and up the cliff, and then they can build. Oh no, what did you do? Oh, I saw something happen from the corner of my eye. How did you... Okay. Yes, we'll do stairs for you. On a very high priority. Actually, we need that done immediately, so we're gonna lower the priority on these because we need the planks to go to this staircase. Because we don't want Beatrice the Fourth spending the rest of her life on top of that levee. And these guys are able to reach into the deep part, so maybe when this staircase is done, they can reach this side as well. Let's hope so. Oh, the stair was just built. Yes, and they can reach, and they can chop trees while swimming. Look at them. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. I'm glad you guys are able to hold your breath while chewing a tree. The floating animation. Yeah, good job, guys. Good job. They can't reach all the way, so we are gonna have to put in a lumberjack flag over here. And that won't work while it's flooded, of course, but since we have a bad tide approaching, we can try and let out a little bit of water, so this will be dry enough that they can work here. Beatrice was freed, so that's good. And the bad tide has started. It's only a 5-day long one, so that is the positive note on this bad tide. I was really hoping for a drought, though. Not much we can do about it. And there we have it. The great dying of our forest. I forgot that we store a bunch of water in here when the bad tide starts. So this is actually flooded even more now. Okay, but it is only 4 days, and I think we know we can survive 4 days just fine on the water we store in here. So I think I am gonna open the floodgates a little bit and drain the reservoir so we can start chopping these trees, because we are completely out of logs at the moment and these oaks aren't gonna be growing now for 4 days. So I am gonna start letting out a little bit of water again. I'm gonna try and do it gradually so we don't flood anything, or don't flood it too bad at least, because this is a lot of water that has to be let out now. Okay, so we have unflooded this enough that we have started chopping some of these trees again, but we can't actually use this lumberjack yet. Oh, and we have tiny flood over here, but it seems to work itself out because this one has been built. Yes. I'm guessing because even though they were low priority because they had nothing else to work on, they started putting in the waterproof flooring. So you have to keep an eye on that when they continue this section. Because we don't want to have the bad water spill over and corrupt even more. And because of the paths, we're actually putting in the dynamite over here now. That wasn't exactly my intention, but oh well. These are, yeah, they're low priority, okay. We're building them all the way over here? Wow, okay. I'm guessing there's a strip like over here that can't be, yeah, it's too far away. Okay, so we're gonna have to extend that path. I'm glad we can build paths underneath explosives. And then we're gonna need paths over here at some point as well, but it might be worth it to wait for this zipline station. Not sure. Or just do a path underneath the water. We'll put these stairs on a very low priority because this is not important at all. Not worth the planks. Okay, so we've let out enough water, so we're gonna stop the flow of water again. And you can see that when we drain it this far, that these trees actually start drying out. So they need the water to be high enough in this reservoir. They don't profit from the water in this river. Okay, but now we can start clearing out the remaining trees over here. And hopefully that will be just enough to get us through this bad tide. And we keep getting tiny, tiny little floods over here for some weird reason. See, it's a tiny flood and it stops. And then there's a tiny flood again, and it stops. I'm guessing the physics of the water don't do too well when you're fast forwarding. Maybe that's why we suddenly or sometimes get weird floods. Because I think last episode when I flooded the entire colony, it was on fast forward. So maybe that's why it acted strangely. 1 day left of the bad tide and we are a good way through these trees. So Bahamut and Beelzebub actually doing some good work for the colony, clearing out these trees, getting some logs, some much needed logs. So thank you, Beelzebub. Guess you're doing penance for last week's mishap. Have we actually put in all the dynamite over here? Yeah, we have. Okay, so let's... No, wait. We're one short? It can't be reached. Of course. Okay. Let's put in a little path. Still can't be reached. Oh, it's too far, like, in the middle. Oh, So we're gonna need one platform to be able to finish this, but we can't build a platform because there's... Okay. So we're gonna have to explode all of this. Bada bing, bada boom. Ah, wait. Of course, there were no explosives down there. And I might actually just leave them. Same with these. We'll come back to them when we have a good supply of planks and stuff so we can build some platforms. But this will give a lot more room for the water to spill over when we get the fresh water and bad water mixing over here. And I'm actually gonna explode some more over here as well, so all the water has more room just to flow. At least for the first bit. I'm not gonna explode the entire river. At least not for now, maybe in the future. And hopefully that will help prevent flooding over here. Yeah, it's just the last night of the bad tide and we almost cleared out all the trees over here. So hopefully it will take a while for the water to get back over here, the fresh water. So hopefully Beelzebub and Bahamut can clear out those last few trees before the water returns. And that's the end of the bad tide. Nice. So this forest can start growing again. We desperately need it. There are actually some... This one is 99% grown, so as soon as fresh water returns, we will start getting back some oaks and start producing logs again, so that's good. Quickly, guys. Chew. Chew for the sake of the colony. Only 2 more trees left. Oh, and the water is back on its way. Oh, they finished just in time. Okay, good job, guys. You can become haulers, I think. We also finished the zipline connection. Like I said, we wouldn't finish it before the trees were harvested. Oh well. I guess we can still use it for all the dynamiting and stuff, so it still serves a purpose. Wait, I don't get it. There should be water flowing. Because these guys are on. And a flow limit of 0.3, but there wasn't any one... Oh, now it starts flowing again. Maybe these need to be, like, completely submerged to work? Interesting. Because there wasn't any water flowing here, even though they were on. Something to keep in mind, I guess. And with that, I think we're gonna end it for today. So we made some good progress on the aqueduct. We're like, I guess, a third of the way done? Something like that. But it's gonna take a lot of work before we get this finished. And especially it's gonna take a lot of logs and planks. So hopefully we can get a pretty long temperate season and follow that with a drought instead of a bad tide. So this forest can grow and provide us with more logs, because there's not a lot of logs that can be harvested around the map anymore. So we are kind of dependent on this forest working properly now. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good rest of your day. Leave any name suggestions you have in the comments, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.